Let's try this again. Because I'm actually salivating over the cheese and not eating it.
Michael Flatley.
Hello and welcome back to Boozy and the Beast, How to Drink Better. Today we'll be going to 3 of my favourite things and bringing it back to a retro style cheese and wine party.
Now after the dozen or so episodes that we've done so far, this is the one I've been looking forward to the most because I'm a cheesy lover. Before we know it, we'll be on the Brie.
Is that the last one? Is that the last cheese pun for today?
I know what a lot of people were thinking. Cheese are going to have lots of cliched cheese jokes thrown in there, but I like to think that my materials of a higher caliber. Sorry.
We're done.
Dear,
Out of your system.
we're done, yes.
It's out
Of the system. I did actually see some research recently showing a correlation between people who are allergic to dairy products and why their flip-flops always fall off.
Why?
Lactose.
Oh dear Lord. That's enough of that, let's fondue it. But the first one we're going to go for is a Brie. A Brie is a classic cheese to bring to any cheese and wine party. Now a Brie, or any bloom cheese, is going to go really well with the Chardonnay grape. And when you're pairing a cheese and a wine, it's very important to remember 2 things: texture and depth of flavour, like the strength of flavour that you've got there. So obviously a bloom cheese, generally, that's one of the white rind, generally is quite a creamy cheese, like a Brie or a Camembert, and the Chardonnay grape pairs really well because it also has a varying depth of flavour depending what climate it's from. But in particular, bubbles go really well with a creamy texture because you've got that heavy, dense creaminess, and the bubbles just lighten it, they smooth it out, they bring joy to the palate. So take some Brie.
Get the normal piece.
Get a normal sized piece of Brie, pop it in your mouth and try it with the bubbles. We'll have to do a lot of sped up shots for this one.
We should have cut smaller pieces of cheese.
It's good though, right? It's refreshing. Like the
bubbles. Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
really nice.
The bubbles are fresh. Whereas if you've got a hard cheese like a cheddar, this is a very nice cheese. Where did you get this one from?
This was from Booths in Carnforth, but I think it's a Somerset, Godminster cheddar.
This is an aged cheddar. And basically, if you have a hard aged cheese, you're going to want something with tannins that's going to cut through that fattiness of the cheese, and you're going to need a strong wine that will balance out the depth and strength of that flavour. So a Cabernet Sauvignon or Cabernet Franc would be the absolute ideal pairing. So what we've got here is actually a Bordeaux, so a blend of Cab Sauv and Merlot, and it's got those tannins and that fruit flavour that will go really well.
I could definitely have more of that.
That's a great pairing, and you'll find the wine actually feels quite smooth and fruity when you've got that aged cheddar. But now, if we go back to the Brie, a little experiment you can do at home, and have the same wine, that Cabernet Sauvignon, that claret. Well, it's actually horrible. Take a sip of your wine. It's like one of those orange juice toothpaste experiments you do. It's just, the tannins didn't work, it's drying, it's metallic, it's gross. I will still eat the cheese.
Yeah, it's not as good.
It's not as good.
No, I'd still drink all of that and eat all of that, but I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Right.
It is strange how a slightly different pairing completely changes the taste of the wine and the cheese.
Absolutely. The whole point of drinking wine is to bring joy to your mouth. So that's why it's so important to pick a good wine or the right wine for whatever food you're eating, so that actually the combinations on a scientific basis work better. And the next cheese is a goat's cheese. Now the ideal pairing for that is a Sancerre, but I have no bloody idea why there was no Sancerre to be had for love nor money in Waitrose, Sainsbury's, any high street store. So instead I've gone for a French Touraine, how do I say that? Touraine? I said it right. Sauvignon Blanc. That should have similar grassy and mineral notes. So now we will drink this. Goat's cheese is quite an earthy cheese. It's got those like dense earthy qualities, and the Sancerre has lots of mineral and grassy notes which really lift the earthiness of the goat's cheese. It's a beautiful combination.
Yeah, that works.
Doesn't it?
No, I've always been told don't mix your drinks. And speaking to a professional here, I assume it's all right if you mix your drinks as long as you mix your cheeses as well.
Basically, if you're trying a lot of different wines, then it's a wine tasting, particularly if you're pairing it with different cheeses, and therefore it's classy. The next two cheeses we're looking at are kind of similar, Brie and the Manchego. And they're both hard, slightly nutty cheeses with a slightly oily quality. So what they're going to pair really well with is fruity, lighter wines with it's quite aromatic. So what we've got here is the Manchego.
Manchego, that one.
Then that's going to go with the Tempranillo. What grows together goes together. So the Tempranillo is going to be a beautifully aromatic, fruity grape to go with that nutty, hard cheese. And so is the Pinot Noir. It's also going to complement beautifully the Gruyere with that light, it's a lighter style of red berries. So these two wines go very well with these two cheeses. Shall we tuck in?
I think we should. So right, I can see a little bit of blue lurking over there, and if I'm not mistaken, that is Garstang blue from Julie's, which is about 5 miles away from where I grew up, just south of Lancaster. So yeah, I'm interested to see what you're going to pair with this little number.
I love that. It's a bit of your heritage. It's absolutely, well, I'm going to try some now.
Am I allowed some?
You may have some of your own cheese.
Thank you very much.
So basically, when you're thinking again, it's back to that texture and the depth of flavour. So a blue cheese is quite a powerful cheese, so you want a powerful wine. So in this case, we're going to look at dessert wines. It can be a port or a dessert wine like one of these that we've got here. And also the texture, it's a really rich, dense texture. So actually we're going to match that with a rich, dense wine. And on these tiny little glasses, this is how you're meant to drink a dessert wine, it's tiny little glasses. Cheers.
A dessert wine fit for giants.
Out of interest, out of the pairings, which one is your favourite?
That is a very difficult choice because with the wine pairings, you've managed to bring out the best in the cheeses and the wines. So I'm going to have to answer, I'll take all of them, please, Libby.
Okay, but you won't, because I want some too.
There we go. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to this episode. We fully understand that this has been mainly for our benefit, but hey ho, we've got to enjoy ourselves too. So in which case, pick a glass, pick a cheese, and
Double cheers!
double cheers.